Decorating Center. Good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show. Brand new week in July. Here we are on July 7th. And we'll have open phones this hour, 989-752-6111. At 10 o'clock, we'll talk to Kelly Pilong from the Disability Network of Mid-Michigan. And at 11 o'clock, we're going to learn about the return of Mooney's Ice Cream. All of that coming up this morning. Hope you had a good July 4th weekend. It's interesting today. I think it was today in the Detroit Free Press. Mitch Albom, terrific writer. I mean, he really is a terrific wordsmith. He had a piece, and the headline was Mitch Albom, on our nation's birthday, gratitude should light the candles. I think he's been listening to the Joe Volk show, but he talks about gratitude, and it starts out, I'm going to read part of it, quote part of it here. We're celebrating America's birthday this weekend, yet recent polls show fewer citizens feel proud of being from this country. In fact, only 36% of Democrats say they're extremely or very proud of America. Just a year ago, that number was 62%. Sort of suggests whoever sits in the White House has a lot to do with the Democrats' pride in the country. But should it? Same poll claims 40% of Gen Zs, those are 13 to 28-year-olds, are extremely proud of America, compared with 83% of the silent generation, 80 and older. Apparently, the older you get, the more you come to appreciate the United States. Well, I have some thoughts on it. And, I understand the political consequences of losing an election, not having your guy in the White House and all of that. But that should not have any bearing on your pride to being an American. Because it is that very nature of this country that allows you to both win and lose. There are no guarantees in politics that you are always going to be the winner. And as such, it's prudent upon all of us to accept the fact that there are going to be times where we don't like those in power. And there are going to be times when we fully stand behind those in power. But in this country, it allows us to do that on a regular basis. It allows us to select our leadership on a regular basis. Now, is it a perfect system? I don't think there's any such thing as a perfect system. We have our faults like everybody else. The difference is we air our laundry in public. The other difference, which I have said many, many times, what makes us different than many other countries in the world is tolerance for those with whom we disagree. Now listen to that again. Tolerance for those whom we disagree. And we do it publicly. And we move on. This country has had 249 years of it. 250 years for the Declaration of Independence next year. Massive celebrations will be planned. So just remember the next time you don't like the person sitting in the White House or the congressman who voted against what you want or the senator or any of that, or the governor or local officials. Just remember you have the ability to change. You may or you may not win. And life goes on. We still wake up the freest nation in the world every day. And I don't see that changing. So I just thought I'd just react to what Mitch Albom said. I agree with the whole piece. I mean, he goes on to talk about the forefathers and how we have to be proud of the forefathers. And you have to remember, the 56 founders who met in Philadelphia. They didn't agree on very much. Many of them didn't like each other. But they knew in order to take this huge risk of breaking away from then the most powerful government on earth, they had to compromise. May not liked it, but they had to compromise. And they did so. And because of that, here we are today, able to sit and talk freely about it. On this program, for example. Not many places other than the United States where you can have a show like this where you can complain about your government, you can tell me who you like and dislike, what you like and don't like, and you do it without consequence. So just think about that the next time you get down on America. Don't know any place else I'd rather be. All right. We will get to our phones here in a moment. But let me take a moment to tell you about my friends at Quick Lane Freeland on the McDonald Ford property. Quick Lane Freeland is where you go for all of your car service. Except the heavy-duty stuff, if you have major components broken down, then you just go into McDonald Ford, and they, of course, take care of it. But let's talk about allergies. Now, I want you to think about this. We've had a bad allergy season. And guess what? You don't get away from it in your automobile. But Quick Lane in Freeland has an answer to keep you healthy while driving. It's a product called FrigiFresh. It's a hospital-grade disinfectant, and it conditions your air conditioning in your car. You want to know more about it? Here's John from Quick Lane to tell you about it.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
Again, stop into Quick Lane in Freeland, get FrigiFresh today. And while you're there, why don't you look over the exciting lineup of new Fords at McDonald Ford? They stand ready to put you in the car of your dreams today. Quick Lane and McDonald Ford in Freeland. They stand together to serve all of your automotive needs.
This message comes from
Hi, we're back with you, and it's time to go to our phones. Owen is in Beaverton. Owen, good morning.
Good morning. I was going to make a suggestion that you bring one of the U.S. senators in and talk about the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, we're working on that. We have to get a couple of folks in to do it.
Yeah, do a 1 or a 2 hour program. One from maybe you bring a Democrat in and then bring a Republican and let them, tell us what this bill is all about.
All right. Good idea.
But one of the things I would have put in that big, beautiful bill, and I know you and I don't agree on this, but I would have made a federal mandatory holiday pay for all employees.
Yeah, you're right. We don't agree on it.
Yeah, but anybody that works a holiday deserves something extra for working that holiday. No matter what it is. It could be, and you work 8 hours a day, you get 8 hours of pay. Or they could pay you time and a half or double.
What if they give you time off instead? What if they give you time off in place of it?
Well, that too. They can, they can give me an extra day of vacation.
Yep.
Some other time. But my point is that if you don't want to be open, if you don't want to pay it, don't be open.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's what I would have put in this big, beautiful bill.
All right, Owen.
I'm working 20 hours a week now, so they can't touch my stuff.
That's good.
If they even try.
Good enough.
But there's a lot of people that don't want to work 20 hours a week and don't want to do what they're supposed to do, and that's the people we should
And they're the ones that are taken out of it. They're the ones exactly what this bill says. So, all right, Owen, appreciate the call. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Here's Scott in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Hey, morning, Art. Yeah, last week when I talked to you, I made a mistake and said that the Quran called Jews worms. I was mistaken. The Quran in 3 separate verses calls Jews and other people apes, pigs, and monkeys. So that's what the Muslim religion teaches their people, that everybody besides a Muslim is an ape, a pig, or a monkey.
Where'd you get that?
It's in the Quran. There's 3 times. One of them is, I think, Q225. People can look it up. You can Google it. It's very easy to figure out. We have technology right up at the fingertips. Just Google it. You just ask your phone, hey, Siri, how many times does the Quran call other people apes, pigs, or monkeys? And with that, since last time I talked to you, I see that the Democratic Party is really living up to par. Now we have Democrats who identify as Democrats lighting fires and ambushing our police or our firefighters. Just wonderful, wonderful people. We have other ones dressed in body armor now attacking ICE agents and the building and shooting one of the ICE agents in the neck. Again, wonderful, wonderful Democratic Party. And then we have the guy here in New York again who's still calling for Benjamin Netanyahu to be locked up. Meanwhile, he wants all prisons to be emptied out.
Yeah, well, the only difference between you and me on this is I blame the people doing it. I don't blame the party, because not all Democrats are doing it. And in the same way that, not all Republicans are good, not all Republicans are bad. Listen, there are bad people everywhere. And if you reflect on what they do, that you think that reflects on what the party dictates, I got to disagree with you. I understand where you're coming from. Don't misunderstand me. But I can't do that. I blame the people doing it.
It is. It's the people doing it, but they can come under the heading of the Democratic Party. Why? Because we know we have sanctuary cities that bail these people out.
That's
they have
fine.
No cash bail. So that it's the Democratic Party that is allowing people who identify as Democrats to terrorize American citizens. It's the Democratic Party, Art. It's not individuals. It's the party itself that is allowing individuals to do this.
Like I said, the beauty of America is we can agree to disagree. That's the beauty of it.
What do you disagree? Are the Democrat Party, is the Democratic Party not becoming very, very violent?
I have not heard the Democratic Party say go out and do all these things. Now, are they speaking out against it? That's where I would agree with you. No.
That's what I'm saying. If you're not denouncing it, then by your silence, you are agreeing with it. Then.
I'll allow for that. I will agree with you there. They should speak out against it.
Yeah, and the only one I think that is Fetterman.
Yep, well, he's
and it took
definitely
a stroke for this guy to get. Yeah, it took a stroke for him to get in his right mind. What a wonderful thing.
That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Take care. Bye now. That's an interesting line. Lines open Saginaw Bay City, 752-6111. Toll free, 866-790-WSGW. Again, You know, there's a lot of guilt by association, and I understand that, but I can't bring myself to blame everybody for the actions of a few. I do agree that they should speak out against it, and that's true on every level. Let's talk to Jerry. Jerry is in Saginaw. Jerry, good morning to you.
Yes, real quick, Art. Will you please tell Scott who were the party that attacked the Capitol Police on January 6th? They were not Democrats.
Yeah, that's why I said both sides have to do it.
Well, but he doesn't. You say
Well,
that he doesn't even recognize
you're
it.
not going to convince him. All right, let's understand
You're right.
that.
I agree, but it's so stupid for him to make comments like that. I'm sorry, but that's it. That's all I wanted to say, Art.
Good
Take
enough.
care.
Thanks. Bye-bye, Jerry.
Yep, bye.
And let's talk to Linda in Saginaw. Linda, good morning.
Good morning. I would just like to say on a positive note, a Capital Fourth program that was broadcast on the 4th of July on PBS was awesome.
Yeah, I missed it. I wanted to see it, and I got busy and didn't get to watch it.
They really put together a great show.
I'll actually go back and watch it because it'll be on YouTube, I think.
It's worth watching.
Who was on? Do you remember who some of the artists were?
They had the Temptations, they had the Beach Boys.
Oh, wow.
They had some of the older ones, and then they had the winner of American Idol last year. So it was an awesome performance.
Excellent.
So just had to give a positive shout-out.
I love it.
Okay,
Anytime.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Linda. Bye-bye now. I'd like to hear that, you know. All right, let's talk to Mark from wherever he is. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
Good.
Hey, when I was in the military, we had anytime there was arc welding done or anything like that, we had fire watch patrol where somebody would sit there,
right,
and with a fire extinguisher. And down at the Bay City Fireworks, they had they had a trailer that exploded, caught fire, and then all the fireworks exploded. My question is A, was somebody on fire watch patrol, and B, why can't they put a fire retardant tarp over an explosive trailer since there's high explosives going around all the time?
Apparently what happened was from the previous fireworks, there was a latent spark in the grass, and it eventually caught the grass on fire, which got to the trailer, which caused the fire. So
Correct.
I don't know if a tarp would have stopped that, because a tarp would certainly, contain everything, but the trailer contained everything. Nothing got out of the trailer. But that's how it happened.
Well, a spark got into the trailer.
Got into the trailer, yes. Spark got in because the grass around it was burning. It wasn't the spark that got in, it was the fire of the grass.
Right. Do they not spray the fuel down afterwards
Don't
or
know.
anything like that as
Don't know.
preventative maintenance?
Good question.
No?
Good question.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Well, that was my thought. Thanks.
Good enough.
Have a good one.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep.
Naveed, hang on. We'll get to you next here on WSGW.
Kapoco Community Credit.
Here on WSGW, let's get back to our phones. We have Naveed in Saginaw with us this morning. Good morning.
Hi, good morning, Art. I'm the first-time caller and long-time listener.
Glad to have you.
I'm calling this about the misconception created by Scott. There's nowhere in Quran called the Jews ape. What he is mentioning is a story where the Sabbath violator, they were cheating the Sabbath. They were catching the fish on Sabbath and then doing it on the Monday. So all the people who cheat their religion are given similitude of the like apes. There was nowhere, said that.
I'm glad
you should go and read it, the whole story.
Yeah, I'm glad you called because while we were in the previous break, I looked it up, and Scott is incorrect. What I found, and you can corroborate this view as much as it just did. The Quran does not explicitly state that all Muslims are pigs. The Quran mentions the transformation of some Sabbath breakers, a specific group of people who disobeyed God's commands, into apes, and some interpretation links pigs as well to this punishment. Some clerics have misapplied these verses to claim that certain groups of non-Muslims like Jews are descendants of pigs and apes, but this interpretation is incorrect and not supported by the Quran itself. And it even has verses, if I'm correct, the Quran contains verses that emphasize justice, kindness, and equitable treatment toward those who do not wage war against Muslims based on their religion. Some verses specifically mention Christians and Jews as people of the book and indicate Muslims should not harm them or judge them. Am I right?
That is correct. Anybody that follows the faith, as the Quran has treated them with the appreciation, but it is the violator and the cheater. And I believe this story is also in Bible too.
And is it, I mean, the terrorist groups over the past several decades that speak as if they are the true speakers of the Quran have literally hijacked the book, haven't they?
That is true. That is true.
Well,
I think he should go and read it, and he will find for himself the whole story is the people who were cheating their own laws.
Right. What happens is sometimes people read things and only see the words they want to believe.
That is correct.
So, well, Naveed, thank you much for calling, and thanks for
Thank
listening.
you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Doc.
Take
You're
care.
welcome.
Bye-bye now.
All right.
I'm glad Naveed called because I did look it all up. And, Scott, be careful what you ask for because I did look it up and found what I just said. There are different interpretations of the Quran, just in the same way as there's different versions of the Christian Bible. And while some individuals or groups focus on verses that can be interpreted as negative toward non-believers, others emphasize verses promoting compassion and tolerance. So, there you go. So this article, in summary, Quran does not explicitly state that non-Muslims are pigs. It's true some verses have been interpreted by some, often inaccurately, to suggest hostility or denigration of non-believers, particularly Jews and Christians. It's important to approach such interpretations with caution and to consider the broader context and diverse perspectives within Islamic thought. So there. All right. Let's talk to Al in Bay City. Al, good morning.
Morning, Arthur. I just want to make a comment that I really take hats off to the way the Detroit Tigers are playing these days. They just knocked out the Guardians.
Yep.
And I just think it's tremendous that we have a sports team that's doing that great. And I just wish them all the best because it looks like they really have put together a good team.
Yeah, they have. 4 in the All-Star game starting, so that's good. Well, 3 starters for sure, and if Scooble starts the game, then they got 4 starters. Not bad out of a 9-player team. So, all right, good enough, Al.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye now. All right, we'll take a break and be back. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111.
It's natural to have questions.
Back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Lines open for you, 989-752-6111. As I mentioned, Al Turk Skubal, named to be one of the pitchers. And there is the possibility, because of his schedule, that he will be able to start the game, which would give the Tigers 4 starters on the 9-man roster. 10-man if you count designated hitter. Pretty cool. Hasn't happened in a long time. So it wasn't a question as to whether he was going to make the team. We knew he would. Question is, will he be named the starter? This is his second year. He joins Gleyber Torres, Riley Green, and Javier Baez, all named All-Star starters. And with Skubal's inclusion, it's at least 4 players to the All-Star game. Hasn't happened since 2015, when Miguel Cabrera, Jose Iglesias, J.D. Martinez, David Price all represented Detroit in Cincinnati at the All-Star game. Game is next Tuesday in Atlanta. So let's hope that Scoob makes it as the starter. Be kind of nice. The Tigers deserve it. They got the best record in baseball. All right. Let's see who we have here. We have Billy in Freeland. Billy, good morning.
Morning, Art.
Morning.
I was just going to make a comment about the Tigers. They're just, of course, we're fans no matter what in all these years, but this is fun.
Yeah.
And
yes, it is.
It's just fun. And the diversity, all the different places that the players can play. McKinstry yesterday played first base for the first time in his life, in his professional career. But I was going to say, I just feel that it comes from the top. And A.J. Hinch is he's just brilliant.
He is. He's a
moves
strategist.
Oh, yes, and how he is prepared. And
he's
strategizes like he does.
Big believer in the analytics.
Yeah.
That's a thing that's come to baseball now, and you see it, when a reliever comes in, you see the next batter up going to the iPad to see what he offers and, what he throws. And it's a different game today.
Right. It is, and they all have their little cheat sheets in their hats that they take off to see what's
Yeah,
what,
and when they're in the outfield, they got the little sheet in the pocket to tell you where the guy is going to hit, what his spray chart looks like. It's amazing.
Well, last night I was watching ESPN Sunday night game, and they still were saying, why is it, or do you feel like the Tigers get their due? Do you feel like shouldn't they be being talked about just as much as LA with the same record? And I thought, I think that they are kind of hedging their bets to see if they're going to prevail.
Well, I have watched a few of the MLB Network shows, and they just don't seem to give the same due to the Tigers that they do everybody else. They're really enamored with the National League and the West Coast and the East Coast, and I think that's a shame.
Yeah, it really is, but we'll show them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Have a good one.
You bet.
Yeah.
Bye-bye now. So anyway, we'll find out in the very near future who the starting pitcher is going to be, and hopefully it's Mr. Skubik. I've asked Charlie Rood to step in here for a moment, and the reason I've asked him to step in is Mr. Rood is a baseball coach. We just had a conversation about the All-Star game and Skubal and all of that, and the Tigers maybe not getting their due. And in that conversation came up with the changes that I've seen in baseball over the years, particularly in the world of analytics and data. Yeah. Players go to the iPad to see what the pitcher's going to pitch and everything else. You're a coach. You coach the
at the JV level.
JV level.
Yes.
Where you don't have the fancy gadgets and all that stuff.
Not at all.
Have they been good for baseball or not? Putting them on the spot, folks.
Yes, it's been good for baseball as long